The new administration unilaterally withdrew our crippling sanctions on Iran, foolishly giving away all of America's leverage before negotiations have even begun.
President Trump at CPAC yesterday laying into the Biden administration's disastrous decision to end sanctions against Iran. This as Iran rejected an offer to negotiate with the U.S. in an informal meeting to revive the Iran nuclear deal, because who wouldn't want that back? A deal which President Trump exited nearly 3 years ago. Here to help put all this in context, talk about it, Fred Fleitz, former Chief of Staff for the National Security Council and former staff member of the House Intel Committee. Sir, thanks for taking the time.
Good to be here, Rob.
So Iran has said it's not going to sit down with the U.S. until the sanctions are lifted, right? And in doing that, has Biden set a pretty dangerous precedent here? I mean, if you just say, okay, fine. I mean, how good of a deal is this?
Yeah, it's a really interesting development. Now, first of all, the Iranians obviously realize that Biden is desperate to re-enter this nuclear deal, and they're not going to give him that political victory for free. They're going to want concessions. Frankly, they're going to want to make the deal worse. But another factor, Rob, is, and this is a mistake the Obama administration made, you know, the Iranians like Biden more than Trump, but they hate Biden. They hate the United States. They are a radical Islamist state. They hate our country. Yeah. They hate our way of life. And these Biden diplomats can't charm the Iranians into start liking the United States and cooperating with us. And the third fact, and we're seeing this with the European allies who are hedging their bets on Biden, because they think America First will be back. They know how popular it was. And I think the Iranians are thinking, you know, we'll make a deal with Biden, and Trump will be reelected in 4 years, or another Republican, and whatever it is we agree to will be thrown out.
I wish I could climb into these people's heads. I wish I could just climb into John Kerry's head one of these days and just see what it's like in there and see what it's like to think this way, where it's just you're just destined to always screw up any kind of negotiation. It's pretty fascinating the way it works. Is this going to be the way for them? Is it always going to be capitulation? Is it always going to be just, hi, we're weak, please be nice to us? Is that the way of the future?
You know, Obama thought an Iran-centric foreign policy for the Middle East would make the world safer, would be in our interest. Mm. It made no sense because Iran is an enemy. It wants to destroy America. That's what Iranian officials say constantly, death to America. And we made these deals with Iran during the Obama years, and we were stiffing our allies. And that is what Biden is prepared to do again. It's not going to work.
No. It's not. It's amazing that so many people don't get this yet. That's what's amazing to me. The former Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, who we miss dearly in that position, was at CPAC over the weekend. Our John Bachman asked him about the speed with which the Biden administration has undone so many of the Trump-era foreign policy initiatives. Here's what he said.
It's been fast. The seats weren't warm, and they undid 60 or 70 pretty significant foreign policies that we had laid down. Look, there's always differences. New administrations come in and they have a different way of achieving things, and I recognize that. What I regret is that they didn't stop and take a look and see the places we had success. And then, you know, if you think there's a different path forward, so be it. But they undid them almost as if it was being undone simply because it was a policy that Mike Pompeo had articulated or that President Trump had articulated.
And Fred, that's exactly it. I mean, anything that they touched had to go immediately because it just had to be toxic, right? Even the good stuff. And what they forget is that even the people that didn't necessarily like Trump, a lot of them liked the policies. And the policies of the administration were very popular with the American people.
That's right. Sound policy takes time. If Biden wants to change policies, that's fine. They need to look over 4 years of intelligence. They need to talk to our allies. But the Biden team is rushing to just undo these policies because Trump did them. It's Trump hatred. And Trump did a lot of things right. Even people who don't like him admit he's done some things that really worked well, such as the Abraham Accords that was bring peace to the Middle East, which Biden is slowly undoing with his attempts to isolate Saudi Arabia, with the way he's treating Israel. I mean, it's really shocking, and I think the world is seeing this.
It certainly is. It certainly is, and it's just so sad the way that they have to deal with this. It's so immature almost in a way. It's, oh, if it's Trump, it's got to go immediately. Let's talk about this for a second. Senator Tammy Duckworth urging the administration to declassify the intel regarding Russia's alleged offer of bounties to target U.S. troops in Afghanistan. The president dismissed this report as a hoax. What do you know about this?
Well, President Trump rejected it as a hoax, and Trump Pentagon officials did not think that the intelligence on this added up. But look, I think Duckworth is right. The new administration should look at the intelligence to see what happened here. But declassifying it is another matter. You know, we could tell the American people what happened without revealing sensitive intelligence. So let's review this information. Let's get Congress briefed. But the call whether declassifying, that's harder.
Okay, yeah. Well, we do want to see it anyway, but yeah, you're right. I mean, that is a big move. Fred Fleitz, sir, thank you so much for the time. Good to see you.
Good to be here.